Hello there, I'm the Star Wars Kid, and I just watched Kenobi Episode 5, and wow, that was amazing. We have so much to talk about. Let's just break it all down. We start with finally, after 4 episodes, we have a flashback of Anakin and Obi-Wan. They're fighting in Coruscant. Like, you freaking, like, start the episode in Coruscant, and, like, Anakin's, like, this is, like, around Attack of the Clones. Like, Anakin has the Padawan braid on. Obi-Wan is, like, Attack of the Clones. This is, like, during that timeline. And they're, like, training and fighting with lightsabers. My only question is, if they're, like, training with actual lightsabers, like, what if, like, someone accidentally gets hit? Like, because they were going, like, full force. The choreography in that fight was actually, like, good compared to that Vader Obi-Wan fight in episode 3, which I understand Obi-Wan was, you know, trying to be a coward and Vader wasn't going too hard, but the choreography was still weird. But however, that fight was really cool. And then you just got a lot more Vader, and all the flashbacks were, like, from Vader's mind. Like, Vader's, like, thinking of these things, and basically the flashbacks, like, it kept cutting to them fighting and, like, little comments from Obi-Wan and Anakin every now and then. And basically the ultimate thing with the flashbacks was Obi-Wan telling him, like, Anakin, you must prove yourself, and if not, you will always be the Padawan. And that's kind of what Vader's, like, thinking in his mind. Like, if I don't kill you, I will always be that Padawan, and I am beyond that. So that's why Vader wants to kill Obi-Wan so bad. It's because he wants to become the master, as, you know, he says in A New Hope, when I left you, I was but the learner, now I am the master. So really cool stuff here. Let me just skim the episode to see what else we got. So they're tracking basically Kenobi and all those guys, and, you know, Reva comes out with all the stormtroopers, and, you know, Reva's now Grand Inquisitor, which is, like, crazy. And then they finally do it. After 4 episodes of no explanation of who the Reva character is, what her motivations are, like, other than, I just gotta find Kenobi, they finally give her, like, a meaningful, just substance. Like, I loved her in this episode. Loved her, you know? Like, and here's the thing, I like bad guys, or bad girls, like, whatever you want to call it, but, you know, there was never any, like, motivation with her, never any story, so it's hard for, like, us to just see a, like, I want to kill Kenobi, and it's like, what? Who are you, bro? But in this, like, so Obi-Wan talks to her, and we find out she was, we kind of knew this, based on, like, everything, but she was a youngling at the Jedi Temple, and she had to, like, play dead, like, you know, like Anakin tried to kill her, and we saw freaking Anakin at the Jedi Temple. Oh my god, we saw freaking Anakin at the temple. So cool. We saw him with clones, like, bro, and he was, like, slaughtering the younglings, like, crazy. So basically, Reva is an Inquisitor, so she can get her revenge and kill Anakin. So it's like she's playing the long game. So I liked Reva in this episode because there was finally some, like, substance and story with her. I thought it was really cool. So now we don't know, like, what she's gonna do, but then they end up, like, breaking into the little base, all the stormtroopers and Reva. It's, like, so funny because, like, literally, like, there's stormtroopers shooting, and, like, no, like, people don't have shields, and they're still, like, not getting shot. Like, Obi-Wan's just, like, deflecting a couple blasters. Like, why not just fire all the aim towards Obi-Wan? Like, but you know what I mean, they can't kill him off. Tala had a good death. That was a good death, because, I mean, I'm, like, I really liked her character, but they had to do something realistic. It would have been so unrealistic if she's just standing there, because she was literally just standing there for, like, 10 minutes with no, like, cover, and their stormtroopers are right there. If they didn't shoot her, that would have just been a plot hole. It just wouldn't have made sense, but they decided to kill her off, and she sacrificed herself. Now, the thing that, like, I'm like, what the hell? Like, just on a, like a film, directing, whatever, Reva was part of that explosion. Like, sure, she kind of got away, but she was still in that explosion when Tala set off the bomb. And in the next scene, she has no, like, dirt on her face, no, like, cuts, no nothing, as if nothing just happened. But she was literally just right next to that bomb that just went off. Like, there was a giant bomb that went off. She was, like, there, and she comes away with, like, nothing on her face. Like, that was a little weird. We saw Obi-Wan with the lightsaber. That was cool. Like, you know, I'll get into my criticisms in a little bit. But let's see. Then Vader comes to the planet, which Vader, oh God, they have no like they just show Vader arrive, like show the ship land, play the Imperial March. There was no Imperial March. Like, why not? That's Vader's theme. It doesn't make any sense. They haven't put the Imperial March once this whole entire thing. Like, I just don't get it. So now Vader's like walking through this whole thing like a badass. He's walking through this base. And really cool how he uses the Force to stop the ship. Like, that was sick. The CGI was awful. The CGI was absolutely awful. It looked so fake. But the idea of it was so cool. Like, it's just like, come on, why can't you put more money into this? Disney, we know you have the money. Don't be cheap. Like, come on. But that was pretty cool. He stopped the whole freaking ship. He like teared it apart. He's like trying to like I gotta find Kenobi, and then they ended up tricking him and doing another ship. Like, it's funny how they kind of knew that would happen. And then let's talk about like the best part about the whole episode: Reva versus Vader. Who would have thought that was gonna happen? That was insane. And Vader's like toying with her the whole time. Like, at first he's just using the Force, which I was like, that's so cool. He's just using the Force to stop her, and she's like screaming, trying to kill him. Like, I liked Reva this episode. And then Vader's like, then Vader like takes her double-bladed lightsaber, splits it in half, and tosses it to her like, yeah, buddy, like, here you go, like, come at me. And they freaking fight. Vader's just messing with her. Like, he could have freaking like destroyed her like that, but he's, it's not every day Vader gets to fight with the lightsaber. So he wants to practice. He's using Reva as practice. So that was really cool. And obviously Reva gets stabbed. Makes sense. Vader knew she was the youngling. Like, that was so cool. He's like you didn't think I'd remember, youngling. Like oh my God, he knew, and he still doesn't care. He knew. And you saw it was like the same situation where you had Anakin. It cut to like Vader and Anakin like fighting, and they finally explained like why Reva knew that Vader was Anakin. So that was good, because she was a youngling and she saw everything happen. So that was cool that they explained it, that they didn't just like let it go. Like, even Obi-Wan says like, how would you know that? Like so they did good with that. And the Grand Inquisitor is alive. The actual Grand Inquisitor is alive, as we all knew, because he was in Rebels. And then we have the end of the episode where where Obi-Wan senses something's off, and basically Reva's like kind of dying. I don't know if she's gonna die. Like, I mean, I feel like it would have just been fitting to just kill her off. I honestly don't think they're gonna kill her off, though. I think she's gonna survive somehow. Even though like she shouldn't survive, because like you don't survive Vader. Like, Vader, you don't survive Vader, man. But basically Obi-Wan senses something is off, and that's the fact that Reva found that transmission from Bail Organa saying like, Luke's on Tatooine, like, protect the child. Like, and it's like, she has to die now, or else like she knows all this information. What's she gonna do with it? Like, she kind of has to die at this point because she knows all this information, and Obi-Wan's like sensing this. Now here's some of my and then the end of the episode, it cuts to Luke Skywalker in Tatooine. It's like the second time we see Luke. So the final episode's obviously he's gonna go back to Tatooine, probably return Leia to Alderaan, and it's gonna have something to do with Luke. Here are my couple complaints. One, regarding the final episode, or the final scene of the episode, like, when you're zooming into Obi-Wan, like, as he's thinking, they do all this, like, shaking with the camera. Like, they're like, why are they doing that? Like, it's, like, weird. Like, they always do these shaky camera movements, and it's, like, you don't need to do that all the time. It's just, like you notice these things. Another thing, the CGI, they really, like, they gotta put more money into this show. And then, what was my other complaint? The Imperial March. That I like the Flash. This is my biggest complaint. I love this episode, but this episode should have been episode like 3. It should have been episode 3. Like, We're going into the final episode of the show, and I feel like we just started getting substance. Like, this episode is like what the whole show should have been. This episode is what the whole show should have been. I really don't see any reason why this had to be episode 5. Like, this could have easily been episode 3. I know you had to change some story around, but, like, the fact that we're going into the final episode and I feel like we just started getting stuff. We just started getting flashbacks with Hayden and Obi-Wan. And it was just them fighting. I mean, it was cool, don't get me wrong, but, like, you know, we want to see some Clone Wars flashbacks of them, like, in battle. Like, they were just kind of fighting. Like, that's it. Like they could do more. They could do more with this. And this episode was so good. It was short again. It was only 40 minutes. Less with, like, credits. Like, why don't they make these long episodes? I don't get it. But basically, that's my biggest complaint, is that this episode was so good, but now we're going to the final episode, and that's it. Like, this episode just started, like, really... Like, we got nothing with Vader. Like, we got no character development with Vader until this episode. Like, this episode actually fleshed Vader out. And it's happening in the second to last episode. 1 episode left. Obi-Wan's still not the Obi-Wan Ben Kenobi we know. That's just how I feel. I don't know. They just haven't... I'm just, like, I really love this episode, but it's just the fact that there's only 1 episode left. It's just kind of, like, mind-boggling. Like, this could have been episode 3. Or, if this was episode 5, at least make, like, 3 more episodes. But we only have 1 left? I don't... Oh, man, it's just, like, missed opportunities. But overall, I love the episode. And I need to see this final episode. I really need to. I can't believe we have to wait another week. But it was good. I loved it. It was a great episode. I want to know what you guys thought of it. Let me know in the comments below. I'll see you next time on Star Wars Kid. Make sure to subscribe, turn on all notifications, share the video with your fellow Jedi and Sith friends. And until then, remember, do or do not. There is no try. Bye, guys.